It was 7:09 a.m. on a Sunday when my phone buzzed. The message was short, cold, 2 sentences. Your services are no longer required. Effective immediately. No signature, no explanation. Just termination. I was sitting in a plastic chair in the ICU waiting room. My mother's machines beeped behind the walls. My coffee had gone cold hours ago, and he, my boss, chose that moment to cut me loose. No call, no warning, just a text, like I was disposable. 2 minutes notice on a Sunday morning. I met him 3 years earlier. He was magnetic in a room, loud laugh, quick handshakes, the kind of man who mistook charm for character. I believed him. We all did. He talked about building a family, not just a company. He swore he valued loyalty, that we were building something bigger than ourselves. I worked nights. I worked weekends. I covered for his mistakes, polished his lies, made him look competent when he wasn't. I gave him my trust, my time, my silence. And when I needed a shred of humanity, he chose betrayal. I noticed the shift weeks before. He started avoiding eye contact, cutting me out of meetings I once ran, forwarding my reports with his name slapped on top. I kept quiet. I observed. Then came the whispers. A colleague tipped me off. He was setting me up. He'd been blaming delays on me, taking credit for wins, rewriting history so when he finally pushed me out, it would look justified. I didn't panic. I didn't beg. I smiled in his meetings, nodded at his lies, and waited. Because the mistake wasn't that he betrayed me. It was that he underestimated what I could do once he did. The text came at 7:09 a.m. By 7:12, my grief had calcified into resolve. I didn't argue with him. I didn't call HR. I sent one message. To the team. It wasn't emotional, just factual. I was let go this morning. No notice, no explanation, just a text. Thank you all for everything. We built something worth remembering. That was it. No venom, no persuasion, just truth. The first reply came at 8:02 a.m., then another, and another. By 10 a.m., the group chat had exploded. They weren't angry at me, they were angry at him. They'd seen the way he treated people. They remembered the promises, the lies, the Sunday emails, the way he drained them dry and called it leadership. One by one, they drafted their resignation emails. By 2:10 p.m., 13 people had walked. Not interns, not assistants, his entire backbone, project leads, engineers, analysts, the very people who carried the company on their shoulders. Gone. In hours. Not because I asked, because he revealed himself. I heard later that he tried to spin it, called them disloyal, said I'd poisoned the team. But the truth was simpler. I hadn't needed to. His cruelty had done the work for me. I just gave them the spark. By Monday morning, his inbox was silent. Projects stalled. Deadlines collapsed. Calls from clients went unanswered because there was no one left to answer them. By Wednesday, the board had questions. By Friday, they had his resignation. I never raised my voice. I never threatened him. I didn't need revenge in the form of rage. My revenge was precision, timing, restraint. He fired me while I was sitting in a hospital, watching machines keep my mother alive. He thought he'd stripped me of power. But the truth was simple. Power doesn't sit in titles. It sits in trust. And trust can't be stolen, only earned. He lost mine the second he hit send at 7:09 a.m. And by 2:10 p.m., he lost everything else. I think about him sometimes, alone in his corner office, scrolling through an empty inbox, realizing the empire he built on manipulation collapsed in less than a week. People say revenge should feel sweet. It didn't. It felt quiet, necessary, like closing a door that should have been shut a long time ago. And when I walked out of that hospital days later, my mother's hand finally warm in mine, I knew one thing with absolute certainty. He'd thought he ended my career, but all he'd ended was his own.